Oh, he was a layout artist here. He's now at Warner Brothers. He's one of our favorites. He's back. He's back from a nice, good old hiatus. Give it up for one of our brothers. It's Jotham Herzon, everybody. There is no following that.
I'm sorry.
Wait, where's the Clippers?
You want to join you. You want to take a swing?
No.
Okay.
How is everybody? This is a huge crowd. This is great. Let's take a little measure of who we've got here tonight. Do we have interns here tonight? Yeah! Nice. Wow, there's a lot of interns here. Okay, great. Most of this set is going to be for you. I am Jotham Herzon. I used to work here 9 months ago, and then I quit. I'm a traitor. I'm over at Warner Brothers now. And they keep inviting me back to do comedy, so I'm here to tell stories to you. And this is all new material that I'm workshopping, so laugh and make me feel validated. Do you like my little Audi fit that I wore for you tonight? Or a little matching outfit. I got my yellow shoes, I got my yellow shirt. I actually have 10 pairs of these exact shoes. I have them in every color: black, brown, white, blue, red, yellow. I have hot pink that's coming in the mail next week. And then I have shirts that match every color of pair of shoes. Does anybody here know Garanimals? Yeah. Garanimals was, no? Any interns? Garanimals was a line of clothing that was designed for toddlers. And you just matched the little animal. You just got two pieces of clothing and you put the little animal together and then you got a outfit. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I've got my little Garanimals for middle-aged men so I can feel pretty at work. Yeah, it's crazy. When I started my job at Warner Brothers, I wanted to have my little uniform, so I started buying all of these shoes in every color and colored shirts. And so every night, like, I go in the closet and I go through my little shoes and I'm like, maybe I'll wear my blue shoes. I've got my blue and red shirt. I could wear my blue shoes or my red shoes. I could wear red shoes with blue socks, or I could wear blue shoes with red socks. And I'm in there looking through the outfits, and then my wife is in bed and she's like, did you pick out a good outfit? And I'm like, yeah. Do you want to show me your outfit? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, that is a really good outfit. Are you excited to go to work tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah. Do you think people are gonna think you're cool? I'm like, yeah. And that was my whole motivation for doing this. I asked, we don't have a free commissary at Warner Brothers either. So I have my lunchbox, I have my little backpack, I got my shiny new outfit, like first day of 6th grade. So I wrote a couple of punchlines for that. Let's see which one works. All I need is my note so I can get out of PE from my mom. Maybe. I hope I don't forget my locker combination. Hey, thank you. I'll be here all night. And last but not least, maybe I'll run for class president. Oh. I was honestly hoping that I would get a nickname at work, like, I don't know, coordinated t-shirt guy, or cool shoes McGee. I was hoping. Which brings me to the next part of my set, which is for all of you interns. It's about professional humiliation. How long have you all been interns here now?
9 weeks.
9 weeks. Okay. So have you managed to do anything totally embarrassing? Yeah, a little embarrassing. I'm going to top you all and talk about my day last week. Tell 2 stories about professional humiliation. Just so you know that it always gets better. Or worse, I don't know. So last week, I was in a meeting, a review, with my team and the director and the producers. And a booger fell out of my nose onto the conference table. And it gets much worse. Like, I am very paranoid about boogers. I have a large nose, a lot of nostril space, and most of my day is spent in fear that there is a booger or something in my nose, and that nobody's telling me. And I was in the meeting, and I went to scratch my nose, and I felt it dislodge from somewhere in my sinuses. And it was like you know how an oyster makes pearls and there's layers and it's been in there for like 5 years? It was like that. It had been in there stewing like a stalactite of mucus that had been slowly growing. And I felt it dislodge, and I felt it coming down like Indiana Jones, like the boulder coming down through the dungeon. And it was coming, and I immediately went, ah! Just in time for every single person in the room to look at me, for the Zoom active speaker screen to highlight me, every face on the Zoom to stare at me until it went and popped out of my nose and landed on the table and sounded like a metal BB. Ding, 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 ding. Because it was perfectly timed. And everybody's standing there staring, and I was standing there staring, and we're all looking. And there was no trash cans in there or tissue. So I had to grab it.
Oh, no!
In my pocket. Right in the pocket. Where else is it gonna go? There was no trash can. And I got my nickname at work. I'm not Cool Shoes McGee. I'm PB&J. Pocket Booger Jotham. I'm a supervisor, people. But you can call me PB&J. That's not the first time I've professionally humiliated myself. Do I have enough time to tell another story? If that's not the light, you're not hooking me off? All right.
Go for it.
I would like to tell you the story of how I became known as the answering machine guy. This happened early on in my career, where I was working. One of my first jobs in the industry was as the assistant to a producer of a movie called Ice Princess. I don't know if anybody's seen Ice Princess. It's the story of a young lady who had the choice to either take her physics scholarship to MIT or pursue her dream. Yes, it's a classic of becoming a skate princess, and she falls in love with a Zamboni driver. It's a fantastic movie. Criterion classic. And I was the assistant to the producer. I don't know how I got the job. I was not qualified. But I was the assistant to the producer, and the first job that she had me do in her office was to change her outgoing answering machine message. Because her last assistant had quit, and she didn't want her voice on her answering machine. So I was gonna do the new message. And it was my first day, and I was gonna do a great fucking job. And it was at Disney, and they had one of those institutional phone systems where you dialed in to get you, it was just a phone on your desk, and you had codes, and you dialed in to retrieve your messages, to erase your messages, all of those things. So there was a whole set of codes. So I went on there, and I recorded her new message. Hi, you've reached the office of Bridget Johnson, please. Sorry, that sucked. No, I'm not gonna use that one. And then I did the code to erase it. And then I did the code to do it again. Hi, you've reached the office of Bridget Johnson. Fuck! So I erased it, and I did it again. Hey, you've reached the office of Bridget Johnson. No, that's too radio. So I stopped, erased it, and did it again. And I did that about 36 times until I got the perfect message and I was gonna really impress my new boss. And then I left for lunch and I came back and there were no messages on the machine. And I thought, that's odd, normally she gets 10 or 15 at lunch. Maybe it's a weird day. And it was a Friday and I left to go home. And I came back on Monday to check her messages before she got there. Usually she has 100 messages over the weekend, no messages. That is really strange. It must be a slow week in producing for Hollywood live action movies. And no messages. And we went through the whole day, no messages on Monday, and I came in on Tuesday, and my boss called me into her office. And she said, I'd like you to listen to the outgoing message that you left. And I said, sure. So we started playing it, and it played the message, and then it repeated the message, and I was like, yeah, this is great. And then it repeated the message, and I was like, fine. And then I realized it wasn't repeating the message, that I didn't erase, I appended. And her outgoing message was 7 minutes long of me cursing, doing improv, singing, whatever. Just get myself loose enough to do her outgoing message. The only way she found out was the president of Disney, Nina Jacobson, who was the equivalent of Donna Langley, had to walk down to her office and be like, I can't get in touch with you. It's like your message is 7 minutes long. What is this bullshit? I was glad that there was a desk between us and that there were no sharp objects on it. Yeah, it didn't last long in that job. But like several years later, I was at a bar and I was talking about that story, and a total stranger who was at the next table and overheard it turned to me and was like, you're the Disney answering machine guy. So I am the Disney answering machine guy. Thank you very much. So yeah, it can always get better and it can always get worse. Welcome interns, nice to see everybody. And yeah, that's it for me.